For my royal masterminds, I've got Lady C and Phil Dampier. Now, the Israel-Hamas conflict has, of course, always been one of the most politically charged disputes in world affairs, and one which continues to spark great debate. I think, let's be honest, Israel-Palestine is probably the most political thing in the world. So it came as a bit of a shock, actually, when the royal family broke protocol to brand Hamas as terrorists. Interesting to note that the BBC still refuses. First, a Buckingham Palace spokesperson said this: His Majesty is appalled by and condemns the barbaric acts of terrorism in Israel. Then, just 3 hours later, a Kensington Palace spokesman echoed those sentiments. They said, the Prince and Princess of Wales are profoundly distressed by the devastating events that have unfolded in past days. The horrors inflicted by, get this, Hamas's terrorist attack upon Israel are appalling. They utterly condemn them. Well, there we go. Pretty clear. Lady C joins me now. Initially, there we go. Lady C, I'll start with you. Were the royal family right to intervene? Have they broken royal protocol here?
Well, I need to be very careful what I say, because aside from anything else, my great-great-uncle was the Archbishop of Beirut, who invited in Sharon, who then, with the Phalangists, massacred all the Palestinians in Shatila and Sabra in 1975. So I need to be really careful what I say. Having said that, I will say the King and the Prince of Wales are right if they had said genocide and crimes against humanity. But I think to use the word terrorist is a little bit over-egging the pudding in terms of impartiality. Although, of course, if you consider that Menachem Begin, who was the sixth Prime Minister of Israel, was regarded as a terrorist and was, in fact, the founder with others of the Irgun gang, which ultimately also assassinated Lord Moy. So, I think they've got themselves slightly involved with injudicious terms, because also, let's remember, there's a far larger percentage of Muslims in the Commonwealth and in Britain than there are Jews. And again, I speak as the granddaughter of a Jew.
Yeah,
so I'm not anti-Semitic.
No, of course not. No, not at all. But I'll bring you in now, Phil, because this is kind of a point that I was worried about for our royal family, which is that I don't think we need any excuse for increased levels of Islamist terrorism on the streets of Britain, do we? But then you end up with the royal family coming out and calling Hamas terrorists, which they've done. I'm not saying they're wrong. I mean, they're right. They're objectively right. But actually doing it, do they put themselves under threat?
Yeah, good evening, Patrick. It's a very, very tricky one, this, isn't it? I mean, it's totally understandable that they want to condemn Hamas and call them terrorists like any probably sane person, but it is a problem, this. It is straying into politics, and my worry is that when we start to get the probably inevitable ground attack by Israel and we start to get pictures of civilian casualties, are they going to comment on that? We're then going to sort of start to get a sort of running commentary, aren't we? And it's going to cause a great deal of problems. I mean, I think the late Queen would probably have made a much more sort of anodyne statement along the lines of, I'm praying for peace in the Middle East, and left it at that. A very difficult position to know what to say next. So, yeah, watch this space. But it's a tricky balancing act, this one.
Yeah, I'm just going to whiz us on now, because Harry and Meghan released a belated statement of their own condemning the attacks in Israel. So it was hours after Kate and William did it, with a lot of focus on what they are doing rather than the victims. So a post on their Archwell website titled "With Heavy Hearts" read, "At the Archwell Foundation, with Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we stand against all acts of terrorism and brutality. We are supporting our partners and organisations on the front lines in Israel to provide the urgent aid needed and to help all innocent victims of this unconscionable level of human suffering." Lady C, are the couple still using tragedies to publicise themselves, do you think?
Self-promoting jerks who don't know their place. Prince William and the King have official positions in the state, and they are obliged to make some comment. Harry and Meghan should be making no comment whatsoever. Because the fact of the matter is Princess Anne isn't making a comment. Prince Edward isn't making a comment. It's not for royals to make comment. It's a comment. It's for the representatives of the state to make a comment. And they have completely forgotten how unimportant they are, and they need to remember their place and get back into their corner.
Phil, Harry and Meghan need to remember their place and get back into their corner.
Well, I think Lady C's right. They don't represent anyone, do they? I mean, they're just...
I've lost all sound.
I think they probably made it because they wanted to sort of say something after William had said something. It's interesting that they said that their Archwell Foundation is helping people on the ground and working with charities. I'd like to know what exactly those are, but it's good for them, isn't it? Talking about international relations when they can't even sort out their own family.
That is, you know what, you do make an interesting point there, Phil. I'll stick with you for a second because you would have thought that it's all very well and good them trying to wade into the Middle East, right, and sort out, a conflict that is arguably as old as time itself. And he can't even go see his brother, and she can't even go see her father.
No, indeed. I mean, if he went down to Mexico and sorted it out with his father, I might take him more seriously. But I don't see him as a sort of international Henry Kissinger-style statesman. I just don't think he's quite got the skill set at the moment.
I think possibly a lack of self-awareness. Lady C's back in town. There we go. We love to see it. So what Phil was saying there was that, look, with respect, they can't even sort out their respective families, can they? So the idea that they're going to sort out the conflict between Palestine and Israel is a bit fanciful.
Well, it's beyond ridiculous, but they are beyond ridiculous. I mean, they're just ridiculous, Why don't they just simply maybe go... I think if they sort of went into an institution for 6 months and maybe got a brain cleansing, that would be a good thing.
Well, it's very strong stuff, that, Lady C. I'm not sure whether or not that exists. If it does exist anywhere, though, Lady C, it will exist around Montecito, won't it? You can go around for a brain cleansing at some point. Have I got time for one more question? I think, yes, I do. Good stuff. So it's about Princess Diana, or specifically, weirdly, her ghost, apparently. It's set to appear in... The Crown, the final season of The Crown. Lady C, is this a sign that Netflix has gone too far? Diana's ghost?
They are, none of this is believable. I mean, you couldn't be making up all of this. It is so incredible. Okay. Diana's ghost. I mean, you talk about insanity. What are they thinking of, Netflix? I mean, it's just, The Crown. It's just beyond belief.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Very quickly, Phil, your thoughts, bridge too far, this Diana's ghost?
I think so. I've never seen The Crown. I think I've probably made the right decision. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Dallas, and, I remember probably coming out of the shower, a dream scene there at all the dream, and now we've got the ghost of Diana. So it really is scraping a barrel, isn't it? They must be desperate for something.
I think we can hear the sound of a barrel being scraped somewhere there. Look, Lady C, thank you very, very much. And a wonderful appearance from your pooch as well, which we love to see. Phil, always a pleasure, Phil Dampier there. Both of them are fan favourites for a very, very good reason.